Welcome back to the Means Report. We appreciate you staying with us. Great information from Mary Kate Lazat, helping us understand the election and what happens going forward. Let's switch our focus now to cybersecurity, something that is going to be part of our national headlines, just like this race for president was. It always is going to be at the forefront because it's something that impacts everybody's life. And I'm so grateful to Matthew J. and the team at PC Techware for taking the time to talk to us on the Means Report. Matthew is a partner with the company, and I appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So just to give people a feel for what PC Techware does, do y'all focus on helping individuals with their tech needs or businesses or both?
Yeah, we do a little bit of both. Our primary core focus is to help businesses protect themselves, protect their revenues, protect their client data. But we also engage the community. We're involved with the chambers. It's important for us to take all the opportunities to engage the community at large, because cybercrime is such a massive problem that really touches business and individuals. So we'll do things like giving talks at senior centers. We'll do events for the chamber. We'll present at local events to raise awareness.
Well,
our thought process is kind of all the boats rise in the tide there.
It's helpful, though. You're right. Any information you can get out there is helpful. I'm guessing over the years you've seen a greater interest in cybersecurity. People who may in the past have gone, oh, I don't need that. People know it's serious business, right?
Yeah, this is probably the biggest evolution, especially on the business side. In the past, we were very much IT focused. It was hardware, it was printers, it was the networks, it was making things work. Now we're having different conversations with our clients. This is in response to and kind of a proactive approach to the threat landscape that we see today, and the importance of keeping the company safe. Your competition years ago might have been another store similar to yours opening up down the street. Today, you're fighting a digital warfare, trying to keep yourself protected and safe online.
Matthew, it seems like you're constantly, and I mean 24/7, trying to stay one or two steps ahead of the bad actors. In your world, things change by the millisecond, don't they? Mm-hmm. How do you do that? And how do you make sure that y'all protect your clients before the bad guys figure out a way to slip through?
Yeah, this is a combination of two things: deploying highly sophisticated technology to stay in front of that, to do things like proactive threat hunting, but it's also about training and giving your staff or private individuals an awareness of the tactics, the things to expect when you're working that could potentially lead to an exploit that are designed to trick an individual to surrendering a credential, private information. So it's really a two-pronged approach: is deploying highly effective technology, making it as transparent as possible to the worker so they can just show up and work and not have to worry about, well, we're in Fort Knox and I've got to lock everything down, and then raising the awareness around training and kind of an old school approach to being practical when you're handling information.
Should we be super leery, business owners and us workers, of emails? It seems like so much bad can come from opening or clicking on a link.
Yeah, business email compromises are very popular. It's no surprise, since that's 95% of our communications that we do are in an inbox. So it's very important to stay alert. Again, have the right technology in front of the inbox so that it can prevent some of those threats from entering your mailbox in the first place. And then just having a very skeptical eye. We always tell our clients, if in doubt, delete it or forward it to us and let us take a look at it, instead of taking a chance and potentially something bad happening.
How'd the hurricane impact your world? I had no idea, and I know this sounds ignorant, but I had no idea how much we need internet access, email, as you mentioned, the web in general, until it was taken from us. Did that impact you and your world, and how are you working to resolve that? Probably still.
Yeah, I think one of the things the hurricane did for a lot of business owners was really drive a focus on true disaster recovery plans. You know, not only do we have it for things for if we have a cyber crime and we've got to, rejuvenate ourselves from that event, but also who's going to open the door if I don't show up to work?
Yeah.
Who's going to deposit checks? So we see a lot of people refocusing on those disaster recovery plans that include things like internet. I think the hurricane exposed a weakness in the infrastructure because so much of it was damaged.
Oh, yeah.
We typically have clients that are on underground private conduit with internet, and then backup is usually a 5G cell solution.
It's amazing. And a lot of this, as you mentioned, even opening a door can be controlled on your phone these days. But go ahead, I didn't mean to interrupt. So how did you all work to help folks?
Yeah, so what we saw was the primary connections went down, so everyone was jumping on 5G and hotspot, which then taxes the cell towers. So hotspots are going up and down, and it's sporadic. So one thing we did immediately, we had to kind of divert all resources installing satellite internet, something that didn't require a ride on any of that infrastructure. So we've probably got 24 of those satellites deployed across the CSRA.
Like Starlink? Yeah, okay, I saw a lot of those in people's yards.
Yeah, and they did a great job of making that program very easy to get into, especially for those that are in that corridor of the hurricane, making service free for the rest of the year. So it was an easy decision to bring some of those online. And everyone was limping along, but as we went to week 2, week 3, it was beginning to break down business operations. So being able to restore internet connectivity, phone systems with satellite radio solutions has been very, very beneficial for a lot of our clients.
Are those losses that you referenced, because your systems are down, are those difficult to quantify when the insurance man or woman comes along and you're like, look, I didn't have internet access for 2 weeks. Pay me this much because that is what I lost. Is that hard to do?
I believe it is. This was an interesting conversation we even had at one of the chamber roundtables we were at, because they were talking about casualty loss where a business building was destroyed because of the hurricane or a tree fell on it. Those are very easy to classify and quantify, but when you lose internet or phones for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that also has a disruption. But from what we were discussing, those types of things weren't currently covered in that type of scenario. So it's put a pinch on everybody to try to scramble to figure out what to do there.
I know you're going to do a North Augusta Chamber event, a power lunch in January. Part of your focus will be AI, and I wanted to make sure we didn't run out of time before I asked you about that. Is AI our friend? Should we fear it? Is it both?
It's one of those new disruptive technologies. So there's an initial fear. There's some security, concerns around it. But there's so much potential. And I think our biggest limitation for really leveraging AI is going to be our own imaginations and our ability to understand how to use this tool. And then we'll see some regulation come around that, because there's not much, because it's so new. We're still trying to figure out how to leverage that. We've got some cool ideas we're going to talk about at that power lunch around how small businesses and micro businesses can leverage AI to help them run their businesses, because they typically lack a board, right, or resources,
right.
And being able to consult AI, if you will, in some very specific ways could help those businesses.
Probably have time for one more question. And we talked about the election in our first segment. I guess this is sort of election related. We're going through a transition now in our country on a national level. Is this a time when individuals and business owners should have a heightened awareness of cybersecurity, knowing that perhaps we're a little vulnerable and the bad guys can sneak in?
Yeah, we're constantly under attack. And one of the things we try to raise awareness on is that assume they've got all of your information. And it isn't always necessarily what happens at the breach. It's how that information could be used further down the road, so that you get a random phone call in 3 months because I had your social, in a previous breach, for example. So we're seeing a lot of regulations, especially on the federal government side from FTC, the SEC, CMMC, a lot of these regulatory committees, and those are all fortifying cybersecurity controls.
All right, that's good to hear. But yeah, you're right. Always be on guard. Great information, Matthew J. I know we'll have you back if you're willing, I hope.
Sure.
And we appreciate you educating us on the world of cyber. And thanks to everybody at PC TechWare.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. When we come back, how you can help us get more great guests like Matthew and Mary Kate. It is easy, and we'll show you on the Means Report.